Like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Paul McCartney to discuss his life in texts in new podcast. Paul McCartney will unveil the stories behind some of his best-known songs, from his work with the Beatles and the Wings to his solo career, on his new podcast, McCartney, A Life in Lyrics. In each episode he focuses on a single song including Eleanor Rigby, Let It Be, and Live and Let Die, in Season 1, and others, in conversation with poet Paul Muldoon, who wrote the foreword to McCartney's best-selling book, The Lyrics, 1956 to the present. Otherwise, on that day, fans can begin listening to the first episode across iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. A new episode comes out every week. I wanted to be a person who writes songs and to be someone whose life is about music, McCartney says in a trailer for the podcast. In the clip, Muldoon explains how over the course of several years of exploring McCartney's words with McCartney himself, they realized that the book, The Lyrics, also served as an autobiography, could serve as some of the songs pick up on themes going back to the songwriter's childhood. It was like going back to an old snapshot album and looking back at work I haven't given much thought to in a few years, says McCartney. In addition to the above songs, the first season of the podcast will include episodes on Back in the USSR, When Winter Comes, Penny Lane, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, Here Today, Magical Mystery Tour, Jenny Wren, Too Many People, and Helter Skelter. The second season will be released in February and will focus on 12 more songs. As we listened back to the tapes, we realized something very special was happening in those conversations, Muldoon said in the podcast's prologue. It was McCartney unfiltered. In addition to the podcast, McCartney will fulfill his dream of becoming a paperback writer this fall when The Lyrics, 1956 to the present, comes out in softcover.